back. After 25 years of deep sleep therapy, old Henry has finally answered the General's wake-up call. In the tropical sweat of Darwin's Hidden Valley, the Blue Oval hit back. An historic first win for the new XR8 Falcon. Jason Bright's maiden Shell Series victory. A resurgent Russell Ingall showed the Enforcer was far from a spent force. And the Holden Racing team's unbroken winning streak finally came to an end.
Contact, Lowndes and hits, and a massive contact in the first turn. You're going to have a go on the brakes. Oh, a little bit of a tap. And it's gone. Oh, he keeps the boot into it, holds it on the track. And Ellery's gone. Stephen Ellery.
Yeah, the Valley really turned up the heat, but it's only going to get hotter from here. Today, the heartbeat of Australia heads south to Melbourne's high-speed V8 heartland. Sandown International Raceway. Notorious long straights reward big horsepower. Anything less than 600 around this place, and you aren't in the race. So get ready for war. Ford and Holden, raring to be cut loose in round 6 of the 99 Shell Championship Series. Exclusive to your true home of motorsport. Network 10.
Sandown International Raceway, 25 kilometres from the heart of Melbourne, the place where Ford fans are hoping for a repeat of Jason Bright's success in Darwin. Hello, I'm Lee Diffie and welcome to round 6 of this year's Shell Championship Series. Well, will Ford make it 2 in a row? History suggests that they won't. Only one win to Henry Ford here at Sandown. That was back in 1997 when Glenn Seton swept all. That, of course, is since the inception of the V8 formula. Barry Sheen, although we had a break in Darwin, we're back to the usual, and that's Mobil 1 HRT 1 and 2.
Well, it's quite incredible, really. Lowndes is driving a new car, brand new car this weekend. And at one time, before the days of telemetry and all the sort of data logs and that, you know, you'd get a new car, you'd go out and test it, take a little while to get it on the pace. Well, you know, it's out the box and it's on the pole position. Quite incredible, really.
It is indeed, and let's have a look at qualifying right now because Craig Lowndes, for the 7th time in his career, has taken the #1 spot from his teammate Mark Scape. John Bow, a very impressive performance in the Cat Ford, 3rd ahead of Seton Bright. In fact, 7 Fords in the top 10. Radicic and Larkham rounding out those final 2 positions. From Larkham to Lowndes, he's with Mark now for a Petters Pole interview.
Well, if anyone thought the Mobil Holden Racing Team steamroller had come to an end after Hidden Valley, they're very much mistaken. That's because of this machine. This is the brand new Mobil Holden Racing Team VT Commodore making its debut this weekend at Sandown, and Craig Lowndes has used it to great effect. What a fantastic performance. Not only pole position, but you've smashed the existing qualifying record.
Thanks, Mark. I guess it's a tribute to the guys. They do a lot of work. Obviously, we try and build 2 cars during the year. This is probably the first, so hopefully the second. But really, as I said, it's a tribute to the guys. We've done some testing. The car's feeling good. Team's working very well, so hopefully we can get the results.
A lot of people are amazed at how you guys can turn out a brand new car and the thing's so fast straight out of the box. How do you do that?
Well, again, I guess it comes back to the team. They really, the guys do a lot of preparation, a lot of time, and really, at the end of the day, hopefully it works on the track. And so far, so good.
2 Mobil Holden Racing Team Commodores off the front way. We wish you and Mark Scape all the best today.
Thanks, Mark.
Taking a quick look at the championship points, the focus really is on the top 5, although Lowndes has a 120-point lead over Glenn Seton. Scape, Bright, Ingall, Seton and Lowndes, they're the men that will battle this one out. Murphy just outside that top 5 and Mark Noske just hanging on in 10th. We're going to take a look at the top 20 today, and there's some pretty big names outside that top 10. Perkins, Bargwanna, Johnson, also Larkham and Crompton a little further back than where they would like to be. Now, as always, to talk us through the finer point of each circuit, and here, the Sandown International Raceway, here's Neil Crompton.
Here's the inside line on Sandown International Raceway. Beautifully presented, this track has a bit of everything. Fast straights, slow right angle bends, some bumps, even a few curbs to leap over. It's not overly tough on brakes, but it is hard on transmissions and related parts. The layout is challenging with 9 turns, a lap distance of 3.1 kilometres, and the direction of traffic is anti-clockwise. Top speed is around 260 kilometres an hour on the back straight, and the slowest corner is turn 4 at just 70 kilometres an hour. What delivers time here? Like the other Melbourne circuit, Calder Raceway, Sandown requires good front-end grip at all speeds, together with good slow corner traction. And setting the shocks and springs to be able to jump these curbs can also keep the baying pack behind you too. Passing spots? Sandown is rich with passing opportunities at turns 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 and 9. They say there's no such thing as a free lunch. Some of the bumps that were once here approaching turn 1 have gone thanks to some resurfacing. But the new surface brings with it a price tag. If it rains, this whole area turns into a skating rink. And where the car makes the transition from the old to the new surface, it's as though someone turned off the grip. This is widely regarded as the primo hooning spot at Sandown, the end of the back straight. The cars come howling up here at 260 k's flat out in 6th gear. Then it's a pretty hard brake, back 1 gear, over a big bump mid-corner, and then down through the S's at high speed, climbing over the curbs along the way to straighten out the line. It's good fun.
He's got the run, they go side by side.
Whoa, look at that! Oh, look at that! Whoa!
It's the only appearance at Sandown for the V8s in 1999, so make sure you stick around. Race 1 is right after this.
Straight, you ride there very quickly. It's got a real sort of bump drop off for the left-hander, and it's one of the best corners in Australia. I mean, that's certainly the highlight of the lap.
Davo's Roses do it for me. That's off track, but on track certainly the end of the back straight. It's fast, and down through those S's, it's a great thrill, great bit of road.
Favourite part for me is the back section. They go under the bridge and they're very fast. I think it's 5th gear corners, like flip-flop. So, the car's great to drive. It's a nice part of the circuit.
Favourite part of Sandown would be the little right left at the end of the main straight after you turn left. That's really challenging, and it's good when you get it right, because any slight hit of the curb on the exit sends you into the fence.
I think definitely end of the straight. We like fast corners. Welcome back as the cars have already hit the track and we get ready for race 1 of 3. This is round 6 of the 99 Shell Championship Series. As we have a look at the grid, and new qualifying lap record holder Craig Lowndes in a brand new VT sits on pole from his teammate Mark Scaper. Terrific effort for the Cat Ford team, and John Bow in 3rd ahead of FTR factory Ford driver Glenn Seaton. Jason Bright, Neil Crompton. It's a Falcon onslaught. Tony Longhurst ahead of fellow Castrol driver Russell Ingall.
Out of row 5, Paul Radicic. He was 3rd fastest in the warm-up this morning. Keep an eye on him. Mark Larkham alongside in the Mitre 10 Falcon. Stephen Richards and Garth Tander and the 2 Commodores. John Faulkner now without his sponsor and running short on funds this weekend. Dick Johnson alongside Greg Murphy behind them.
Back to a much struggling Jason Bargwanna, and Todd Kelly, the toddler, returns in the Holden Young Lions car. Larry Perkins too, finding it tough at Sandown ahead of Forbes. McConville, we'll talk more about Cameron soon.
Duke of McDougall next. Wayne Gardner Commodore makes his debut at Sandown. David Parsons, Paulville, Wayne Wakefield, young Queenslander, he's getting a run here too. Danny Osborne and Anthony Trapp, the Toll Express Falcon.
Alan McCarthy, John Briggs. We've got Conway Cotter, Mork Imrie and Barry Morecambe. It's a full grid here at Sandown, and that's going to be mayhem. Who can forget last year's opening round of the Shell Championship Series? Mark and Barry, when we had that massive accident on the main straight. It really was an unbelievable sight. The Bridgestone race analysis, there it is. And we have a maximum grid of 36, which means some drivers miss out for this first race, but obviously if cars DNF and are out for the rest of the day, they will slip in. 3x16 lap races, and it is so tight, as you can see, 1st to 15th separated by a solitary second. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you just can't afford to blink in this category, can you? 1 second covering that many cars, it comes down to tenths of a second and even hundredths of a second, as we saw in qualifying yesterday. But Paul Radicic He was equalled the time of Mark Scaife in the warm-up this morning, but the trouble is, Barry, that he hasn't qualified well. He qualified ninth, and you can have all the speed in the world, but if you don't qualify well, it's very, very hard to move up.
Well,
the
you
pack.
just get a look down the back straight there. It's a long way back to the last row of the grid. The conditions today are absolutely spot on. There's hardly any wind. The ambient temperature would be, what, 14, 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Track temperature is about the same. So engine-wise, you know, the engines love this kind of temperature. You know, it's crispy, dry air, and just good for tyres, good for the drivers. You know, they much prefer driving in this to compare with like a 37 degrees at Northern Territory. Is hard work.
Well, it just shows the strength, the importance of qualifying well. The Mobile Holden Racing team, the most successful team this year, 4 wins from the 5 rounds so far, only 1 win before, and that was the Pertec Racing with Jason Bright. But a massive crowd in at Sandown here. Look at that as we look along the grandstand. Absolutely incredible.
And good to see, too, a revitalised band of Ford fans. They are very happy at the moment. Pleased to see 7 of the top 10, the new AU XR8s. Now, here's a quick shot at the drivers who will be carrying our in-car cameras today. Dick Johnson, who is pretty emotional at the moment. He's making his farewell to Sandown, a track where he has done an extremely well, and he's done a lot of races here. Glenn Seaton in the FTR AU XR8. He'll carry an on-board again and says g'day. There's Mark Larkham in the Minor 10 Ford. Larko was qualified 10th. He's ready to go.
On the hand signal there, Larkham getting ready for the start. Russell Engel, the enforcer, very much a man back in form at Hidden Valley in Darwin, hoping to continue that form. Found himself a little bit further back in the order, 8th fastest in qualifying, but in a field with the top 15 covered by less than a second. You really are competitive, even though you're that far back on the grid. It's incredibly tight racing.
First corner's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Russell saying a couple of days ago that, you know, no one likes to see the one team dominate this series, especially him. So the enforcer is back, and we see the Cat Ford of John Bow tucked in behind Craig Lowndes. Let's see how well John goes. This is his 20th year. He started racing here at Sandown in 1979. So a memorable day for him. Let's get ready to go. Race 1 of 3. Let's hope they get through the first corner. Okay, green, and away we go. Lowndes lights them up. Seaton, a much improved start. Look at Jason Bright come through the pack as well. They're all off to a fairly even start. Blasting up the inside, and then 2 Mobile 1 Holden Racing Team Commodores hug the inside line.
Jason Bright on the outside there. This is the crunch time. Let's hope good start from Brighty.
I'll tell you, he made a great start for Paul Radisich. We're just saying he got a bad qualifying position. Look at that. He's 1, 2, 3, he's 5th in the order.
Look at that. That is a major traffic jam, isn't it? That is quite incredible if everybody gets through here. Oh, no.
One of the wins
Bit of a shortcut there. Oh, no. Look at that.
Mark Noski it is. Yeah. Dougal McDougall crunched in there. It was very tight, but here they go. Mark Scaife, in fact, has got the jump on teammate Craig Lowndes. Scaife cleaned up here in 1994, winning both races and the round. Will be keen to do it again. It's Bow back in 3rd. Then Bright, who got away to a good start. And Russell Engel trying to get past Tony Longhurst.
Definitely a bit impatient there, by the looks of it.
No doubt about it. These new AU Fords hunting packs behind those 2 Holden Racing Team Commodores. There's 5 Fords in a big lineup as they try and track down the Mobile Holden Racing Team duo, but it's Mark Scaife, big brake locker, as he brakes hard for Simcoe corner, springs it back onto the straight. The brand new VT Commodore, Craig Lowndes right behind him, put it on pole position yesterday and right up behind his teammate today.
Down the main straight they come. This is the shot looking at the back of Mark Scaife's car, the front of Craig Lowndes' car, as they have already got a handy margin over John Bow in the Cat Ford running in 3rd. Into the first corner. Through Shell MasterCard. There's Bow. He's under attack already from Jason Bright in the Pertec Ford, who said his win in Darwin hasn't changed that much, hasn't changed him that much, and he is just as hungry for win number 2 as he was for win number 1. Word from the pits, Neil Crompton is in.
Well, he's definitely run someone's cat over Crompton, hasn't he? I mean, he never seems to get any luck.
His year goes from bad to worse as they head up the back straight for the second time. Mark Scaife, you just saw him glance in the mirror at his teammate Craig Lowndes as he gets in the draft behind the lead. Number 2 car, Lowndes comes along side by side, the blue flag waving to show that these cars are travelling in very close company. Let's check it out on the Shell Helix.
It's everybody across. Oh, look at this. That's Mark Larkham came together there and with Noski, by the looks of it.
John Faulkner was trying to squeeze his way through there. Last lap around, it was there's Crompton's car.
First lap tangle. See them trying to push that many cars through.
Oh, that's a major one. Look at that.
Yeah.
I was talking with Mark Larkin this morning, and he was saying it is definitely a fault with the Falcons on their front spoiler and the splitter right at the front of the spoiler. It is just like a big scoop, and you go off the road.
It's like a digger.
And it is a big digger, and it instantly just rips that off. It affects your radiator, your ducts, everything.
I have to say it would be a sensible thing to do to say, OK, right, the regulation is the front spoiler has to be 5 inches off the ground for both makes. It's got to be the sensible thing to do because so many cars, poor old Neil Crompton is just devastated.
So Craig Lowndes in behind Mark Scaife. A bit of a gap now opening to the Cat Ford with Jason right behind him. John Bower with the new John Sydney engine on board this weekend, but still not happy with the amount of horsepower he wants. He's chasing more. You've got to have over 600 in these cars now to be competitive. Side by side as Lowndes just comes up alongside his teammate Mark Scaife. I don't think there's going to be any panel rubbing between these two. It's been an immaculate performance so far this weekend.
From the pits, Mark Noske is out of the race. This is the shot looking back at Lowndes, 1 and 2. There is your race update, bottom of screen, under the Dunlop Bridge. This is the top end of the Sandown circuit, the 3.1 kilometre Sandown International Circuit.
Do you know, it does look, even though Lowndes is in Scaife's slipstream, it does look as if Lowndes' thing has got a little bit more horsepower than Scaife's car.
Straight in that
yeah, you watch, look, even, see, there's not out of slipstream. Well, you have a look down the back straight, just to me it looks like.
Well, there were 4 cars in practice that were under the existing qualifying record. And that was Lowndes, Scaife, Bower and Seaton. But look at this.
Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this.
They can't get past the Cat Ford. John Bower, Taskmaster.
Well, Ed Radisich in perfect place now, really, because he's going to get a lot of broken air going through there. And whilst JB's trying to fend off Jason Bright, leaves the door open for Radisich.
You look closely at Radisich's car across the top of the windscreen as he makes a move, pulls out of the draft, but is too far behind Bright. They welcome a new sponsor on board the Shell Helix Fords, that is Cab Charge, as Mike Conway is off the circuit. Doesn't appear to be too much damage to the car. New lap record for Craig Lowndes, a 1:12.49. Rather, a 1:12.41. 1:12.41, so he takes away Jason Bright's existing lap record, and Lowndes holds it now, who sits in second place behind Mark Scaife.
If JB is holding him up, it's a shame he doesn't get out of the way then, because Scaife and Lowndes here just disappearing. Conway spinning around. Because it looks like Scaife and Lowndes has just got that little bit of a cushion now, and it's once you get that much, it's the end of the story.
Well, they've really blown it out. It was 1.7 seconds the last time. It's 3.3 seconds the gap now, so they're monstering the Fords around here. I'll tell you what, there are a few Holden drivers complaining in Hidden Valley. They thought the Fords had about 20 more horsepower. Well, I'll tell you what, this is the place where grunt is proven, and these guys are bolting away from the Fords.
Well, you've got 5 Fords in a group there. John Bower at the front of it in the Cat Ford. Here they come. Then Bright, then Radisich, Seaton, and it looks like Russell Ingall may have got through on Tony Longhurst in the Castrol SLX Commodore. This is 3rd, 4th, 5th you're looking at here, this group of 3.
So it doesn't look now as if JB is holding him up, because he's putting out a little bit on Jason.
Well, his times are pretty good. That last time around, a 1:12.18 for Scaife, a 1:12.19, barely a 100th of a second between the Mobile Holden Racing team pair. And then everyone behind there.
But it just looked at the beginning, they caught JB up so quick. And
well, I don't know, I reckon those guys could run faster, because a little bit behind John Bower, this car's running in a quicker pack that are closing on these 3, 4, 5 positions. Let's see now, trying to close the gap. He's got Tony Longhurst, who was very fast in the early qualifying sessions. Russell Ingall, Russell Tander.
2 wheels there.
Tander's done a good job too, because he's come from 12th up into 9th, and now he's menacing Russell Ingall. So the old VS, we will see Tander in a VT very soon. Apparently it's on its way back from the paint shop, so Tander won't be able to enjoy the luxury of the old VS and all the data that goes with it. He will have to make that transition to the VT. And must say that Barguana is having not a very happy time, although he's jumped up into 11th position. So he's come from back in 15th, 16th, actually 17th to 11th. So Barguana on a forward move too.
Meanwhile, then further back in the pack, our leading privateer is Cameron McLean in the Greenfield Racing Mowers car. He's 14th in the pack. He qualified 16th, so he's moving up the order as well.
Seaton sitting comfortable, of course. 3 wins from 3 starts back in 1997, the year that he won the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Currently sits in 6th position behind Paul Radicic and ahead of Tony Longhurst. There's a shot from overhead. Not too many passing moves so far, guys.
No, it's JB's got the quickest lap so far. 1:11. Is that?
1:11.96 for Bow last time around, and the two mobile cars are running on the 12s. So he pulled out a quick one there, and the Cat Racing for 2.7 seconds the gap. So he's pulled half a second out of their lead that time around. So John said he's not quite happy. He still wants some more horsepower. Every driver wants more horsepower.
I don't know anyone that hasn't said that.
Exactly. Let's have a listen to the enforcer as he gets stuck into Sandown.
Sounds like a bucket of bolts. Sounds terrible. Sounds really agricultural.
Well, while Russell Ingall continues the fight in 8th position, teammate and team owner Larry Perkins is having a very frustrating weekend. Back in 16th position, qualified 19th, is up into 16th as Ingall continues to force fellow Castrol driver Tony Longhurst. How close is this?
They might be sponsored by the same oil company. There's no love lost between these teams. Ingall really pushing hard. You see that crack in the screen. Might have copped a bit of a stone or something from the car in front. It's not slowing down his progress.
Shell Helix race score, Scape and Lowndes still dominating from Bow, Bright, Radicic, Seaton and Longhurst. A bevy of Fords from Russell Ingall in 8th position. Tander, Richards, Barguana and Murphy rounding out the top 12. More real soon. Here at Sandown International Raceway, and it is Mark Scape, Craig Lowndes, the two Mobil 1 Holden Racing Team Commodores, who lead the way, but it is the guy right behind them in 3rd in the Cat Ford, John Bow, who has set the new lap record of 1:11.91. So Bow showing the Fords do have plenty of pace, but not quite enough to catch these two guys.
Yeah, it just seems that the pace that JB's going at now, if it had started off like that, or could have started off like that, so they definitely wouldn't have left it.
2.8 seconds the gap back to the Cat Ford in 3rd position behind these two. But when you consider that 15 cars are covered by less than a second in qualifying, it's so important to qualify your car strongly, because in a 20-minute race, really, if you make a good start, you're just about home and hosed. You can get a nice clean lap in.
Let's go back through the field. There's Bow, Bright, Radicic. Here comes Seaton. Bit of a gap there now. Look at this bunch here. Stephen Richards is right in with these guys. Barguana is in there. Greg Murphy. Now Longhurst has lost a couple of positions. Barguana's there. Then there's Greg Murphy in behind there. So this is proving to be a good battle here. Russell Ingall finally won over fellow Castrol driver Tony Longhurst, who is now under siege from Jason Barguana. There's Dick Johnson, and behind him John Faulkner. It's a shot from the rear of the Castrol SLX Commodore.
When you saw how close Russell Ingall and Tony Longhurst were together, and all of a sudden Longhurst is back there, it makes you wonder if anything happened, doesn't it?
Longhurst has been suffering from the flu for about 2 weeks. In fact, he's been in bed for most of this week, so it's great to see Tony here under those conditions. And there is a nice passing move going in there. Shell Helix replay.
Oh, yeah. So Longhurst just locked her up a little bit on the rear there. And now Russell nips up the inside.
Gee, nice move too. So Russell Ingall continuing his charge. Got 6 laps remaining in this first heat. Mark Scape and Craig Lowndes. It's out to 3.5 seconds that time around. So Bow just hanging on by his fingernails, trying to hold the gap to those two, but they're sprinting away. Jason Bright in 4th position. Radicic standing in 5th. Seaton, Ingall in 7th.
I was thinking, looking at Ingall going through the...
Oh!
There's a little bit...
Oh! McLean.
He was
our top place privateer there.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, nice. 360 and back on again. 10 out of 10 for artistic impression.
He may still be top privateer if he can get back on the black stuff. Then here comes Trevor Ashby in the PPG Microplex car.
That'll get him going now.
Exactly. Won't be too happy with that.
Thomas Mazzira making a nice inside move on Trevor Ashby as they go through challenge corner and hit the back straight. So the order stands at Scaife and Lowndes, Bow, Bright, they're your top four. Radisson still 5th, Seaton 6th. Ingle, Tander, who has come from 12th up into 8th position. And 9th is Richards, 10th is Tony Longhurst, Bargwanna, Murphy and Dick Johnson.
I was thinking, seeing Russell Ingle through the Ashes on 2 wheels. He came on 2 wheels yesterday. He's got a Ducati 916 and he rode it to the circuit. It was freezing yesterday. And I was taking the mickey out of him because his tyres are still brand new.
Oh, great run out of that corner by John Faulkner. Lost his Better Electrical sponsorship recently. That's really going to hurt his attack on the rest of the 1999 season. It's even a real battle here with Dick Johnson as they break hard at the end of the main straight through Shell Mastercard corner. Johnson moves back a position. Larry Perkins now leaping into the battle.
I have to say, with that sponsorship thing with John Faulkner, you know, it makes you wonder why they've had really good coverage out at Better Electrical, and it just makes you wonder why they wouldn't continue.
Well, apparently because all the Better Electrical stores are individually owned, it had to be a unanimous decision that they were going to support him, and apparently they couldn't get 100% support. John has taken that on the chin. He's got a bit of damage on the front spoiler there. As Dick Johnson isn't giving up the battle, the Shell Helix team have just announced Stephen Ellery as the 4th.
Oh, that's Larry Perkins last year.
I think these guys have found a faster way down to Dandenong Road.
Forget the black stuff, the green stuff's quicker.
In actual fact, when you look at it, it's
probably not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. That'd come into mind for qualifying, wouldn't it, when you think about it?
So John Faulkner's through on Dick Johnson, but he's certainly driving hard. And Larry Perkins has come from 19th up into, we'll confirm this on the next lap, but it's around about 15th position, so he's made 4 at the tough end of the field. And who's doing it well at the moment is Mark Scaife. Minor 10 lap counter, lap 13 of 16, so not too far to go in race 1. There's the gap back to teammate Lowndes and championship leader.
Well, they've beaten them into submission. There's the Cat 4 just coming onto the main straight. 4.8 seconds the gap. It's almost out to 5 now. So Bow's opened a little bit of a gap on these.
Oh, look at Radisich.
Radisich charging very, very fast in the warm-up this morning. As fast as Scaife, in fact. Look at this. They go side by side. 260 kilometres an hour at the top of the back straight. Back a gear. And Radisich sneaks up the inside of the Pertec Falcon. Let's see too. Well, this is slicing the pie.
This is pleasing to see Paul Radisich finally put it together and get a race result. It's not over yet by any means, but he is there and he's finally got some luck on his side. This is the in-car with Glenn Seaton, the Ford Livet in-car camera. And we've got just 3 laps to go as he chases the Pertec Ford of Jason Bright, the man who got the first race and round win for the new AU XR8 up in Darwin, and would like to do it again here at Sandown, but I tell you, they've got a lot of work to do to catch the Mobil 1 boys.
Yeah, there's a major gap still existing there, and I think it will exist all season with the restrictions they have on tyres this year. Only 8 tyres allocated per car each race meeting. By the time you go away from the meeting, you've got no fresh tyres to test on, so it really is hampering the efforts. Oh, Russell Ingle. He's gone. That's a Shell Mastercard corner, the first turn, whilst in 7th position. Russell has lost an enormous amount of positions. They're flying by. That's really going to hurt his championship chase at the moment. Lowndes storming through 820 points, 700 points for Seaton in 3rd, and Ingle sitting back at 668 when they left Hidden Valley, but that's really going to hurt him.
Now he has come back on there in 18th position.
Locked up the rear end on it. Looks like a lot of brake on the rear, and just locked her up as she turned in.
Came in a bit too hot. That's really going to hurt his points. Let's have a look at that again from on board.
Yeah, rear end lock up.
So he's all on his own. Just came in a bit too hot. Managed to keep it out of the sand. That's the main thing. So Ingle can get back in and maybe reclaim a few points. But Lowndes continues to monster this field. He has just retaken the lap record from John Bow. Brought it down to a few more hundreds. So 1:11.86 for the Mobil Holden Commodore driver. So Lowndes in devastating form this weekend, but he hasn't been able to get past his teammate Mark Scaife.
And credit to Mark too, because what we saw him do it at Phillip Island, didn't qualify on the pole position, but managed to get through on Lowndes, and he's done the same here at Sandown and doing a nice job, lap 15 of 16.
I think you find that Jeff Brech will say, look, hang on a second, if you can do it nice and cleanly, do it. Otherwise, if there's any slight possibility of it looking a bit iffy, don't do it. You could take out both the cars, which would be absolute stupidity.
This is Mark Scaife's triple-emetry.
I'll tell you what, Scaife's sitting back 5th in the order on the points now, 560 points to Lowndes 820. It makes sense. It makes sense while they can to keep bringing Scaife back up to the points. They might end up with a 1-2 by the end of the year.
It's very close between where Scaife, Bright, Ingles, Seaton, all the guys in the top 5. The biggest gap is between Lowndes. 1 lap to go here at Sandown. Now, Mark Scaife hasn't won a race here since race 2 in 1994. So it's been a long time between drinks here and between wins for Scaife. But he's going to do it by the looks of things.
As viewers at home may have noticed at Hidden Valley, some amazing revolutions per minute on Russell Ingles' telemetry, somewhere in the region of 8,200. That was actually a discrepancy in our telemetry system. So be assured, Russell wasn't using a big rev engine at Hidden Valley. They head up the back straight. Once again, you can see road speed on the left, engine revolutions on the right, gear position in the middle. Just pull 6th gear, accelerating up this big steep Repco hill to 260 kilometres an hour. These blokes aren't backing off. 6.5 seconds the gap over John Bowe. They've demolished them once again.
Lowndes comes up on Mark Scaife in the closing stages, but this is the way that it will finish by the looks of things. Craig Lowndes right there now with Mark Scaife.
Scaife is the master of putting it in the right place so somebody can't get past, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Well, these points will be crucial to Mark Scaife. He wants to get right back into this championship. He's sitting 5th in the order now. He's got a lot of points to make up to the man behind him.
Final corner, they come out of Simcoe corner onto the main straight. This will be it. We're back to the Mobil 1 Holden Racing Team domination. Scaife takes race 1 ahead of Craig Lowndes, and look at the gap back to 3rd. But well done, John Bowe and the Cat 4 team. A deserving position. Steve Renshaw, Kevin Otway, the whole gang, Phil Curtis have been working extremely hard. And Mr. Sunday, as they've been calling him, Paul Radisich, because Sunday's been his worst day this year at every race meeting, has finally finished and in a good position in 4th, the Shell Helix Ford. And that'll be interesting, Barry, for race 2 with Radisich starting from up there.
Well, yeah, it'd be great, because I'm sure, as I've said many times, we haven't seen Paul Radisich the way he really is yet, or what he can actually, what he's capable of. And getting the luck is the main thing.
The victory wave from Mark Scaife. Some relief, some satisfaction. And the most important thing, plenty of points in the bag leading into race 2. And John Bowe and the entire WA-based Cat team, PAE Engineering, Steve Renshaw, the whole gang, well done to you. And Glenn Seaton, hard luck for his teammate Neil Crompton, who didn't even complete 1 lap. We saw him in pit lane with a damaged spoiler, and obviously more damage than just the spoiler. Well, while Neil was in the pits, Glenn finished 6th. Russell Ingall will be dirty on himself, spinning in turn 1 when he was in around about 7th position. But there is the man of the moment as we have a look at the final results on the Shell Helix race score. Scaife and Lowndes, of course, from Bowe, Radisich. Bright held there for 5th ahead of Seaton. Garth Tander, well done, 12 to 7. And Stephen Richards in the Wins Commodore, another commendable effort. We go back into 9th. Longhurst, Bargwana from about 17th to 10th. So the Valvoline boys are coming on well. Faulkner, Johnson, Murphy, Perkins, Larkham, and Dougal McDougall in the top 16. Well, if you think you've had some extreme rides in your life, well, you won't get better than this one.